Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls of all ages and sizes and genders. And I don't know, man. It's 2023, man. There's a lot of categories, a lot of boxes to check off. Hey, whatever. Welcome. I'm Hyperdellic. Today, we're going to talk about this dude, Orko. Now, Orko has a bit of a love-hate relationship in the fandom. Some love him, some hate him. He's kind of like a Snarf from Thundercats. Some people find him annoying. Some people find him endearing. I loved him. I thought he was great. I thought he always added a bit of funniness to the cartoon, even though, I mean, honestly, when you look back and you watch those cartoons nowadays, the whole thing's funny. But it's still great. I mean, it is. You gotta tune your brain back to like 1980s. And yeah. So I'm gonna tell you a little brief summary of Orko. I'm taking this straight from Wikipedia. So it even says there's things wrong. So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I kind of think these are right. This is stuff that I've always understood. But Orko, or Oracle, as the Kevin Smith Revelation series has dubbed him. What you doing to my boy? Listen, it got better. It did. By the end, Orko was kind of the man. But man, dude, I'm still waiting for a better, original version of Orko from Revelation or from the Masterverse line, because so far I'm not impressed with what I've gotten. And what we got coming to us looks okay, but it's still not the original Orko. So, again, he changed the name to Oracle, which, in my opinion, makes Orko sound even dumber. Like, it makes him sound like he was kind of special on his planet and nobody liked him. It's not okay. I don't know. I think they messed him up on that. But he's a sorcerer and the last of his species. That's kind of consistent with all the different continuities. Orko first appeared in 1980s Filmation series. I mean, anybody who was into He-Man remembers that. He's appeared in She-Ra, Princess of Power, and the remake of the original series back in 2002. In 2021, Orko returned for Masters of the Universe Revelation, which he serves as a you know what? Honestly, that's none of the real characters. The character was named Gorpo in the earlier series drafts, but was renamed Orko. And I think they also made Gorpo like the name of like the nameless one or something, and he's the same thing. But okay, so Orko is a Trollan. Comes from the world Tralla, which is basically a world in another dimension. Trollans wear red robes, like that. And they hide their faces beneath hats and beneath scarves, or behind scarves. In Trollan society, showing one's face to each other is considered an intimate act. Man, you don't want to show off any ankle either, let me tell you. Oh, you will be in trouble. But it says basically it's like kissing, So it's like they get naked if they take their if they show their face. It's weird. But they are naturally magical creatures. And in the cartoon, there was a bunch of them. They went to Tralla, in larger portions of some of the mythology. I know the stuff from classics, I want to say they're the ones that crafted the sword of He, which is what He-Man carries. Not sure about that part either, but, hey, there's a lot of different takes on He-Man, and it's kind of nice because you can just mishmash and do whatever the heck you want. It's great. Basically, Orko was a little magician. and he screwed up everything all the time. And supposedly on his own homeworld, he did fine, but then later we find out that, he did fine because he had like this, medallion that made him, cast magic the right way. Because for some reason, once he was born, like he's very powerful, but he casts magic in a terrible way. Like everything goes wrong, right? And so he was always the comic relief in the Filmation series, which was nice. When you're a 5 or a 6-year-old watching this cartoon, as I was, you want some funny in your cartoons. And here is my original Orko. Dun, ba-da-da. Here, we'll do a quick zoomy. Zoomy. And you can take a look around him. Throw him on a stand. I put him on this thing so he stays not so wobbly. And that's, where there's a little ripcord. I have it somewhere around here. It's put away, but I don't know where it is. I was looking for it, but you get the point. But basically, and I don't want to put it in him anyways, because it'll probably be the last time it goes in him. I mean, you're looking at a 40, almost 40 some odd year old toy. So, yeah, we're not going to mess with him. I mean, I almost decided to try and repaint him, and then I was like, you know what? No, I ain't touching it. I'm just going to leave him as is. And if I can find a way to restore him later, I will. But I don't have the chops for it yet. At least, I mean, I can do small things, but I don't know. I'm not confident in my ability to pull that off without it scraping off the first time I put his hat on him. So I'm going to leave him alone. But, I mean, as you can tell, Orko was very limited in articulation. The arms. And the hat comes off. And that was it. And there was this little dealy bob on the bottom that when you pulled the ripcord out, he would kind of like spin and gyrate a little bit on the table. I mean, I'm not sure what they were going for, but spinning and gyrating was what he did. He was like, looked like he was having a seizure a lot of times. Poor Orko. That's why his magic doesn't work. He's got epilepsy or something. That's not cool, man. He's got to go to the doc. Yeah. Anyways, if you have epilepsy, I am not trying to make fun of you. I have my own issues, and yeah, everybody does. We are all a little screwed up in one way or another. I don't think anybody's perfect. So, please don't be offended by me. I just ramble a lot, like I'm doing now. All right. So, after our original Masters of the Universe vintage line, Orko never made it into the new adventures. Yeah, no Space He-Man Orko. But we did eventually get 2002's new series. And I watched the series, but I wasn't collecting back then. And we're going to go zoomy out. But this is the 2000X series version of Orko. I mean, it's cool. I like that they gave him a stand. I think it's weird that it was blue. I believe there was a version that was clear, or it was like a dark color. I don't know. I didn't collect them. And I'm not looking for them these days. I love that show, but I'm not really big on the lack of articulation on those figures. They are sculpted very cool, and if I could find a few of them for not so expensive, I might pick some up if they're in great condition, but I'm not looking for them. You know what I mean? And that was a cool figure. I mean, I gotta give them props. That was the Four Horsemen doing some really cool stuff. Like, I really want to get into the Cosmic Legions. Some of those are great, and what's their other line? The Legendary, or I don't remember what the heck it is, but Cosmic Legions and their other one, something else, Legions. Really good. I mean, the Four Horsemen do amazing work. So can't complain about that. And then after him, what did we get? We got the we got the classics, right? So we got this Orko. Now, I wasn't collecting classics either. I have tried to find a acceptable Orko that is cheap enough, and I can't pull the trigger on him, because it's just some vintage toys get stupid. It gets stupid in price, and I just can't, because my kids need singing lessons and dance, and my kid needs to go to all kinds of cool stuff, and my wife needs to have nice nails, and so those are the things that we usually don't spend hundreds of dollars on toys. I mean, I do sometimes, but that's my mad money. And then I turn it into this, so we'll see. But that was Classics Orko, and I gotta give it off to. Give my hat off to. Take my hat off to the Classics line. Like, they are very, very nice, and they are very, very expensive today. If I had the ability to spend that kind of money back in those days, I probably would have all of them. So, yeah. And you know what? Just for fun, let's see the Funko Pop. Yeah, I like Funko Pops. I don't know what you feel about them, but I think they're kind of cute. Sometimes they look really creepy. I mean, this Orko looks okay. He's all right. This is fine. If you really need to, you could always paint a little black dot or give him some pupils. But I have a bunch of Funko Masters of the Universe, and I like them. They're cool. I like collecting outside of the the main lines. I've got those Masters of the Universe Fall Guys little minis. Those are great too. They're so fun. But that's enough of that. So, after the, after the 2000X and the Classics line, Mattel brought us Origins. We're gonna do Zoomies again. Zoomies. They did a really good job with Orko on this one. Again, the critical side of it is he is freaking humongous. Okay, like, wait, here, let's go unzoomy. Look at this. I mean, Orko was not that big. It wasn't. It's okay to make him a little bit smaller, folks. Give him this thing. I had to 3D print this. Make one for him. Beef up, the packaging or something. I don't know, but man, come on, Filmation version. Let's get a good version of him, all right? Crying out loud. I think the closest was probably Classics, is what most people say. Like, he's the closest to the appropriate size for Orko. And I don't recall where I found the staff, but I 3D printed it and sanded it a bit. I didn't do a perfect job, but you know what? Who cares? It works. And then gave it a paint job. Made it gold. It looks okay. That's great. If you don't get close up on it, it looks fine. But when you get close up on it, you're like, oh man, you got some stuff you gotta sand better. Yeah, okay, you know what? Hey, it was my first try. Shush. Why you gotta be so critical? God. Anyways. But yeah, so then we got this Origins Orko. Actually, you know what? I think I might be wrong on this one, but we may have actually gotten the Eternia Minis version of Orko first before we got him. I'm not sure. If anybody knows for certain, please throw it down there in the comments, the comments things. Ooh, and while I'm thinking about it, hit the like button and subscribe. I feel like such a salesman all the time. But yeah, I mean, they did a really nice job, Eternia Minis, on Orko. I like to use him as my standby Orko. What I do is, or he's my Origins Orko. I made a stand buck, or like a little stand claw thing, and it fits right in his butt. Don't worry, he's fine. He's good. He's good. He's good. And stretch nothing out. And let me just clip that on the back. Oh, I gotta make that a little tighter without breaking it, because these things like to break. They like to. I'm telling you. It's like a thing. They're like, yay, we're gonna break. And then, Orko hangs out with E-Man, and that's great. I love it. It's pretty cool. You can do that too. I do a lot of, like, you know what? You get a little bit of. Wait, hang on. I'm not sponsored by them, but dude, JB Super Weld, and then it's basically a epoxy that light dries, and you can do fine work with it. It is so helpful with toys. I'm not even joking. Like, I don't even know how to begin to tell you how helpful that stuff has been. And it dries clear, because there's some that don't dry clear. And I mean, if you look on my Orko stand, I mean, you can see it's not perfect. It's not always perfect at all. But when you're doing custom work and doing your own thing, sometimes it's not going to be perfect. And that's all right. Sound like Mr. Rogers here. All right, so anyways, so we had the Eternia Minis and the Origins Orko. We also wound up getting these little things in the dollar store. My wife loves having an excuse to go to the dollar store. So when I told her that I needed some Masters of the Universe, like little figures that can only be found at the dollar store, she was all like, she was like, to the rescue. Like, she got them all. And I dig it. I'm not going to take them out of there, because I love how it's like a little mini package. It's so fun. It's cute. It's adorable. It's nice. I like it. It hangs up on one of my, on my wall down here. It's really good. So then we also got, I think next in line would be the Revelations Orko, or Oracle, as they were calling him. Worst stand ever. Worst. I mean, it's not good. It's not good even a little. You can get it to stand, but then you move it and it's like, oh. Your table moves and it's like, oh. Worst stand ever. Listen, Mattel. Worst stand ever. Do not ever do this. It was terrible. It's terrible. Like, I don't even know, what is it? Which way is it supposed to go? Is it supposed to be like this? I mean, he still falls over no matter which way. Like, he's been drinking. Come on, buddy. Pull it together, huh? Dry up. As I am. As I am. I mean, for crying out loud. Worst. And you know what? There is one other thing I don't like, is the lack of hand articulation. and the lack of arm articulation, and the fact that he doesn't have sleeves. I know that he didn't in Revelations, and I just, why don't you just give us what we want as a toy, and instead of the cartoon thing? I'm still gonna watch the cartoon. It's not that bad. It's actually, I kind of like the cartoon, to be completely honest. I like what Orko turns into. But then after the Revelations cartoon came out, or was it before or after? I think it was after. But then we got this. Now, there are some folks in the toy Masters of the Universe community that love that new He-Man and the Masters of the Universe CGI Netflix thing. I'm not one of them. It was fine. It was okay. But it was definitely more for kids. It wasn't for those of us who grew up with He-Man necessarily. Although there were a lot of Easter eggs in there of hey, that's probably going to be this character later, and this, blah, 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 and that, and so there was some cool stuff. But and I'm not sure how I felt about the Orko character in there. He did kind of turn into an awesome character by the end of it. Orko always kind of grows. I like that. That's nice. But the toy is kind of cool looking. I had to pick him up because it's Orko. And I liked him. I thought he was neat looking. For a toy, he's cool looking. This is not my multiverse, but, I can understand how people, were digging on it. I don't think they're going to continue with it, though. I haven't seen any new toys for that or anything about the cartoon. I think it's dead. But yeah, he does that. Orko's got the Kung Fu waist. Whoa! He's still cool. I'm sure at some point collectors are going to be like, man, I really want that, because I didn't like the New Adventures of He-Man stuff, but some people did, and now they're looking for it like crazy, and there's not a lot of them out there. And then I got this little dude. So here, we'll show you in comparison. Yeah. It's world's smallest, man. I love the world's smallest. They're so fun. I did a bunch of stuff where I basically super glued a few of them into some Hot Wheel, the Hot Wheels that came out from Masters of the Universe. Teela's flying the Wind Raider, and He-Man's driving the battle ram, and Skeletor's in the land shark. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. All right, so here, I'll show you the back of this because it's great. Like what they do, they do a bunch of stuff. I didn't buy any other in this line, just Orko. Although I did kind of want to get Castle Grayskull, but I just haven't. All right, so we're gonna open it up, and you can take him out, and he's so little. Now, I'm gonna give them some leeway. These things are dinky. Okay, you can use these for D&D minis. Seriously, he is tiny, and you know what? That's a great stand. That's not bad. He's not doing this. Not doing that. You just go back over there. Shameful. But yeah, that's my Motu Mini Orko. And you know what? I want to say the new one that's coming out is really good looking. I kind of am excited to see it. This little guy, he comes with Gwildor, who is also looking really cool. I wasn't the biggest Gwildor fan, but again, like, finally, they did a 2-pack that can maybe be done right, you know? Hopefully he's a little bit smaller. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's pretty cool. He's got some hand things to show that he's got some dope magic now. Gwildor comes with the Cosmic Key. I'm excited for this 2-pack, actually. I kind of hope that I'm able to pick it up. And then I saw this. Mondo. 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 Why? It looks so cool. And I am certain that when they put it out, this is going to look amazing. By the way, this is Toy Habits website. They're really good. They put out some really good content. And they're very, very informative and well informed. But I just, those Mondo figures are outstanding looking. I have not bought one. It's just not in my toy budget, man. I collect 6-inch and 7-inch figures, maybe even smaller, but definitely not that size. I can't justify dropping $200 on a toy. I got to be honest. I just can't. I just can't. It's really cool, but I understand, like, you know, the average human being, just average dude, we don't have that kind of an income to be dropping $200 on one figure. Not unless you really like him. Now, this is Orko. I definitely didn't get He-Man. I definitely didn't get Skeletor. They were both really cool looking. Not my ideal looks for He-Man or Skeletor, but they were really close and really cool looking. This is going to be so, it's going to make me sad to pass it up. But I'm probably going to pass it up. Not because it's not awesome. Not because it's not worth the $200 to $300 that it's going to be. Just because it's just not in my toy budget. That's not where I'm trying to spend all of my money, you know, and neither are most of you. So I hope that, you know, talking about Orko here today has helped you decide on, you know, if you're going to collect any of the old ones or pick up any of the new ones, or, you know, you're just going to hold off and wait and see what comes in down the line. I highly recommend reading some of the old DC comics. Orko kind of turns into a raging sort of bad ass. I don't know if I can say that, but hey, whatever. He gets crazy with it in there, and he just kind of I think at some point he becomes like possessed by the soul of Horde Prime. I think it was either Hordak or Horde Prime. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I read it, but yeah, Orko turned into a bad dude. He was all like raw, main guy. So that's my take on Orko. And those are my Orko figures. And if any of these are your cup of tea, you should go and buy an Orko. Find one on eBay. Because I don't think any of these are available for sale at the time that this video is made and released. So I am sorry if you did not get Orko. You might be able to find him on the secondary market, but you know how flippers are. They're flipping ridiculous. It's redonk. All right, folks. That's all for this video. Remember again, if you are new to the channel, like and subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit it! And subscribe. And you know what? Turn on notifications too. You know? Turn on notifications so that, like, you know when I'm throwing out another video. And you can sit around and watch me ramble. Maybe this is some good ASMR for you. You know? Like, I'm going to listen to this Midwest moron ramble about his toys. It's going to put me to sleep. Good night.